Veganish.
Talk is not about nothing more than to get to know us, but we're giving you some insightful information that we've learned along the way, right? So definitely get your data, your SOPs in together, and with those you can delegate, you can find a team, you can build out a team. Me and her know she makes the sauce, I make the food. That's our SOPs. So like she's not gonna tell me the rest. How you doing? How you doing? This is Lamont.
And I'm India.
And we're Veganish Foodies, and we're doing Market Talk. Today's episode is sponsored by Everything Sauce. I think every episode is probably sponsored by Everything Sauce. We also have our first book that's available. We will put the link up. This is Understanding the Natural Eating Concept. This is our very first book when we were trying to understand what is natural eating, what is plant-based, what is transitioning, and we made this. Look at our first logos on here. So this thing is like throwback for real. So definitely check that out. But let's go. What's the topic for this week? Market Talk, India.
So the topic for this week's market is understanding your goal of how much you want to sell, or basically how much money that you want to make, have a goal for that, and then how much product that you should bring with you in order to make that goal, so that you're not over preparing, but bringing excess things with you. I think in the time of us vending, we've brought so many items with us in an excess amount, and it's been working that we've been here at the market and we've been bringing 2 cases with us. That's our goal. We sell these 2 cases, we made our money goal, and we're not going home bringing back excess amount of bottles. And I think that's important to know, because a lot of times when we're vending, we see people vending and selling multiple things, and then when it's time to pack up, you have to bring back all these multiple things because you didn't sell them. So
I think that you smashed this with knowing your product and actually understanding the data that goes with your product so you can get the proper ROI. We went over this last time a little bit about different vendors having, maybe that was like a talk ago, because India had a talk by herself. So maybe it was one of those market talks. But anyway, however it goes, we went over that and we kind of was explaining that having multiple products does cause you to have multiple SKUs, which means that you have to keep track of different amounts of, or different types of inventory. And if you are in what we call the gladiator school of vending, then now you're trying to figure out what works. This is what you probably want to go through before you have inventory in a retail store with an overhead, right? Because this is pay a fee, come out with your table, get it all set up nice, and then move forward with getting the product off, versus having the overhead and then you have to have this inventory, which you're trying to keep up certain things, certain appearances. Maybe you want your store to look a certain way aesthetically, and you have all these different products and SKUs, but you don't know the ROI because you still have to go through this in and out of what buys, what sells, what goes, what's the highs and lows of running a business or having multiple products for your business. So India is 100% correct. You want to know your numbers. We go by batch. So we do batches, and I want to say in every batch we do small batches. In every batch that we do, it is I want to say it's 36 bottles. I want to say it's more than 36 bottles, but what's the number? Because she's the sauce boss for real. She knows the amount of bottles.
Per batch?
Yes, the batch, the big gallon, the 5-gallon tub that we make, or you can go smaller batch, the little two liters that we use.
So if I make 2 of the 2 liters, then we're gonna get basically 40 bottles.
Okay, so with our small batch, not our big batch. So we usually do about 5 gallons at a time. But India, she's
Yes.
master chef. She does 2 of these big 4-liter containers that we use to blend and mix and blitz it all together. She does 2 of those at a time. And what she's saying is, when she does 2 of those, we get 40 bottles. So with the 40 bottles, we know how much to bring to an event. We know how much to bring to the vending situation. You got to think a case is 12 bottles. So if we're doing two cases per event or whatever case may be, that's 24 bottles. So that's about half of our small batch. But when we just did the Veg Fest and we just did the Jazz Fest, how many bottles did we do? How many bottles did you make? I know you made at least
125,
right.
150.
So that's how many batches. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I do is sell it and put the labels on. Sometimes she is the sauce queen for sure. I make the food, I market, I do all the other stuff in the background, but she's the one who makes the batches. So you see, it goes back and forth. We ask each other different questions that go with different stuff. That's also having a team. So having a team, because it's me and her, I know certain numbers, she knows certain numbers. We bounce them back and forth off each other, but we use Google Drive. So we make sure that we keep a lot of stuff in the Google Drive.
Yes.
Did you have anything else to go with? The baby's trying to hop out of her little seat. Did you have anything else that goes with not knowing the data? What did you say it was? Well, it is knowing the data, because you have to know how much product you're bringing to the event, but also just knowing your product and how it sells. So
Well, I think we've been really big on goal setting.
yes, this
And
year.
I think that the point of this video is to let people know to set a goal. If you're selling a product, set a product number goal, how many numbers of your product that you're getting rid of, and then also know the money amount goal. So you should know that if you coming to an event like a farmer's market and you're trying to sell 50 SKUs of your item, then that should make you X amount of dollars. Then that should be your goal every single time, so that you're not bringing 200 books with you or 200 bottles with you. You're bringing the numbers to reach your goal, your money goal. It's just basically being intentional about your day, intentional about setting your goal and reaching your goal. Because if you don't know your money goal, or if you don't know how many X amount of bottles or books or containers it takes you to meet your money goal, then you're not going to make it. You're not gonna hit it. And if you don't set a goal, you can't hit the target. And then you don't know for yourself, you don't know for future reference. When maybe someone's looking to invest in you, you don't know your numbers. And it's very important to know your numbers and to have a goal and be able to run it right off the top of your head, basically.
Yes, or even off the back of your mind. I think that's what she was going to say. But at the end of the day, you should use a data tracking or inventory tracking software. So we use Square, and we use what's the other thing we use? We use Square Font. Yes.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Have a good day.
We use Square. That was another vendor coming over, telling us they were leaving, and kind of threw me off. But you want to have the data tracking software, so like Square or Shopify, any of those things, to just track. Because when somebody buys a bottle, whether it's cash or not, I hit the tender button for cash, or I swipe their card. Even if they use Cash App, you can use like an option button at the bottom of the Square card reader app, and you can program and plug in your stuff. We didn't know that at first, so now doing this for the last 4 years, we've understood a little bit better, like, and now we've become like market vets. This is like our 3rd time being in this market, so we just understand like how to track our stuff. And then what we had to do this year was refine and really set goals and smash them. That's what India was saying earlier. You have to really set the goals and smash them. So we had to get a bookkeeper. You would think you could just use QuickBooks. Well, we had to get the bookkeeper to help us with the QuickBooks. That's important, because you don't always know where your money, your inventory, and it's only 2 of us, so we can't be the bookkeeper, the chef, the sauce balls, the marketer, the setup person, the graphic design, the web design. We can't be it all. You try at first. That's solopreneur. Salute to you if you are a solopreneur, but you want to build a team. And the most important thing for you is your SOP, systems of processing, and how you want how you would insert other people in those places, so that way you know. And if you don't know, then you sit down with somebody and you build that out, and then that way you can have the system, and then maybe you can incorporate somebody else whenever you need to incorporate somebody else, right?
Yeah, for sure. Having a team is necessary.
It's vital.
It's not even required, it's necessary. But when you're first starting, you may not have a team, so you just got to do the work, and you got to be wearing many hats. And until you are able to delegate those hats, you have to implement the SOPs, like Lamont was saying, so that you're not all over the place, you're not feeling overwhelmed, you're not scattered. And then if you do find people that want to work with you, you have the systems already set up so that you can delegate properly.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there for you. A lot of these systems or these apps, I mean, you gotta think there's like a Monday.com, there's Trello, there's so many different, what is the hub one called? HubSpot.
Yeah.
Like, it's so many different suites and CRMs that you can use to manage your contacts, your leads. You want to get leads from people. What we like to do to keep it very simplistic, this is a very simplistic tip. When somebody comes and they talk to you at your table and they vend, just ask them to follow you on social media. Yeah. That's the number one thing that you can do. I mean, you can collect the emails. There's so many different things. You can have people write stuff down. You can take the emails from people with transactions, but the simplest thing is just say, hey, can you follow me on social media? Because everybody, for the most part, has LinkedIn, right? If you're a professional business, you should have a LinkedIn page, but then also Instagram and Facebook for the marketing aspect of it. You should also have a page for your business. I don't care what business it is. There's no reason why you don't have a business page. Now, you can also change your page like your logos. You can change your page like your brand. So there's no reason a page on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube is connected to a Gmail, which you can have unlimited Gmails, you can have unlimited Yahoos, you can have unlimited Hotmails, there's so many different email providers that there's no reason why you can't set up something and just see how it works, and then have that what I like to call a social business card to kind of put out some social proof. So if you go to any of our websites or our social media, you're going to see us in action doing different things. Even right now, we're increasing our YouTube presence, because in social media, you also have digital property, right? So your websites, your social platforms, that's your digital property. Now, when you have your own website, obviously you control that, but you can control a lot of stuff on these other platforms, which helps you dramatically when it comes to standing out and showing people who you are and where you at and where you come from, and just showing a different side of you so that people can know who you are. This talk is not about nothing more than to get to know us, but we're giving you some insightful information that we've learned along the way, right? So definitely get your data, your SOPs in together, and with those, you can delegate. You can find a team. You can build out a team. Me and her know she makes the sauce and make the food. That's our SOPs. So like, she's not gonna tell me the recipe, just like I'm not gonna tell her how the order the sauce goes. She tells me I gotta put agave in first, the heavier liquid, and then start putting the spices on top, and then blend. Then I'm gonna follow her lead. And I may know how to do it exactly how it is, but the SOPs that she's created has made the sauce be consistent every time we cook it. So I'm not gonna vary from that. Just like if we make a meal, when I'm done with the meal, she comes to me and says, well, how do you want this plated? Because I have the system of organization of how I want to do. Oh, you're going to put these greens first, then we're going to put this. I'm not a good plater. Well, you're not bad at plating, but I have the vision of how the meal wants to go. So
when you bring me a plate, I'd be like
I wouldn't have my server plate my meal, but I would have my prep chef plate my meal, but my prep chef would have to know how I want it to look aesthetically. So I would make one, they will see it, and then there it goes. Also, when vending food, here goes another tip, because I'm gonna let India get in, we get long-winded. When you make food, you want to put a preview on your table. So we haven't did any market talks with food, but we do vend food, and we like to put a meal example on the table, because people see the menu. People are going to ask you what it is, but some people are visual, and they just like, and it's easier when you're in the mix, especially if you're solopreneurs and it's just you two. So she's taking the money, I'm making the food. Nobody has time to stop to talk to that one customer to say, this is what's in it. I can say, there's a menu right there, that's what it looks like. And then as I have my back turned, or as I'm doing other things, I can be like, but this is what's in it, this is what comes in it. You want to try something, you want to get something, so we can multitask, but you need that visual. We learned that in our first Veg Fest. And we learned that going to other festivals, seeing the vendors having the food displayed in the front. So while you're in a long line, way back there, you can run to the front, see what it is, and you can go back in line. Or you just like you see the menu, like, oh, I seen the menu, but I visually seen what it was, and it makes sense. So there goes my tips. I know I got long-winded real fast, but these talks aren't really that long. India went in and said some very key things about understanding the goals and the processes of knowing your basically knowing your inventory so you can get your ROI. India,
Yes.
do you have anything that you want to finish this talk off with? Because this is a great talk. We can keep going on and on, but we try to keep it under 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, I think we hit all the points. Baby's agreeing.
Right.
We hit all the points. It's just basically, like you said, knowing your data and knowing your ROI and being intentional about goal setting. Set a goal, set a money goal, hit it, smash it, move on to the next day.
Boom, 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 boom. If you listen to rap, you know what that's about. If not, then that was just extra on my part. But however it goes, we're going to keep bringing these talks to you. We're going to keep coming with some of the stuff may seem similar, but we like to go over things multiple times so that way you can get a different point of view. Maybe you didn't see it that way last time. Maybe you did see it that way last time.
And the more you
Always
hear
be
things,
branding. We always talk about that. We'll probably talk about branding next time because that's very important and how you can actually stand out with branding. We've went over a little bit. I talked about the table skirts, talk about where you can get different things at. But look, this is branding. No matter what, this is our book. But within our book, in the back of the book, has tons of different links and websites to go to, not only for you, but it helps us too because our sauce is in here, right? So the other resource, that was a B. India made that face because of the B. Our sauce is in here. So for us, the key thing is to always be branding.
Oh, give value. Today we gave out free watermelons.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't sell watermelon at this thing. We just giving it out. Here you go. Bring people to the table. Help out the
Yes.
homeless people. Help out the vendors. Help out whoever who maybe they didn't eat lunch today. Give out value, free value. We're going to talk about that too on the talk. So we're going to talk about value and we're going to talk about marketing. Those will probably be our next couple of conversations, next talks. All right? Have a good one. Peace.
Yes! This is the best sauce ever. I am so excited to see you here. I've been waiting all year to get this sauce.